Hey there! Today's video is a step-by-step tutorial where I'll show you how to use AI to generate images, the kind that power viral videos like the Talking Baby podcast or transforming famous adults into AI babies. Here's the plan. We'll start by walking through Midjourney's interface, because in my opinion, it's the best tool for this kind of work. I'll explain everything clearly so that even if you're totally new to it, you'll be able to follow along without a hitch. By the end of this section, we'll generate a few sample images of a baby that you can use for your own version of a Talking Baby podcast. And hey, if you're already familiar with Midjourney, you might want to stick around for the next part, where we'll look at more advanced use cases like turning well-known adults into babies. Then, in the final part of this tutorial, we'll take one of the generated images and turn it into a video. Perfect if you want to create a YouTube short that taps into those current viral trends. That's the plan. Let me quickly introduce myself, and let's dive right in. Cheers! My name is Daria, and I'm a product designer and content creator. I've been helping to create and sell digital products for over 10 years now. On this channel, I show you how to build online products and create content around them in a smart, effective way, especially with the help of new tools and tech that keep popping up every day. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and let's dive in. Alright, Midjourney. Let's start with the bad news. Unfortunately, it's not a free tool. If you go with a monthly plan, it'll cost you $10 a month, or $8 a month if you commit to a yearly subscription. I've searched far and wide, and honestly, I haven't found any free alternatives that deliver results this good. But if you know a solid, free, or cheaper alternative, drop it in the comments. I know a lot of people would appreciate that. Okay, bad news over, let's get to work. Head to midjourney.com. If you're new here, you'll need to click Sign Up and choose whether you want to log in with Google or Discord. When Midjourney first launched, it was only available through Discord, meaning you had to chat with a bot, use specific commands, and learn the system, which made the learning curve pretty steep. I actually got used to that workflow. But luckily for beginners, there's now a much simpler browser version, and that's what we'll use today. So once you log in, probably using Google, you'll land inside the app. You can take a moment to explore. I highly recommend checking out the community-generated images for inspiration and learning. But what we're really interested in is the Create tab. That's where you'll generate your own images. Once you click that, you'll be prompted to subscribe to a paid plan. Assuming you're ready to invest in your creative growth, once the payment is done, that Create tab becomes active, and that's where the fun begins. If you've just signed up, the page will be empty. If you've used it before, like I have, you'll see your image history. I already experimented a bit with baby avatars yesterday, but let's start fresh. Our first goal is to create a realistic image of a baby you can use for something like a Talking Baby podcast. At the top, you'll see the prompt box. Let's type in something simple and clear. 1-year-old baby sitting in a recording studio, participating in a podcast. Microphone on the table, headphones on the head. Very realistic photo, natural light. This prompt is pretty straightforward, just a basic description of what we want in the image. The more specific your vision, the more detailed you can get. You can describe wall colors, outfits, background plants, anything that supports your creative idea. Also, it's good practice to mention the image style. I want it to look like a real photo, so I'm adding phrases like very realistic and natural light. If you want a more stylized look, you'll need to clearly describe the visual style you're going for. Before hitting submit, let's look at some additional options. The image icon on the left lets you upload reference images. We'll use that later when turning adults into kids, so let's skip it for now. The settings icon lets you change things like image size, which is really the aspect ratio. For YouTube Shorts, go with 9:16. You can either select Portrait or fine-tune the slider to get exactly 9:16. For mode, Midjourney recommends RAW for photorealistic and cinematic scenes, and especially for cuter characters. So let's go with that. Choose the latest version of Midjourney. Right now that's version 7, but you need to customize it first. If that feels like too much for now, just stick with version 6.1. That's the current default. Next, we've got aesthetics. The lower the stylization, weirdness, and variety, the more realistic your image will be. Since we're aiming for a talking baby that looks real, despite being, well, a talking baby, I recommend keeping these values low. As for generation speed, unless you're on a premium plan, you'll be using fast mode. Alright, let's see what results we get from our prompt. We hit submit, wait a moment, and Midjourney gives us 4 options. Now we've got 2 possible scenarios. Maybe we got something we don't like at all. Still, it's a good idea to click on one of the images anyway. This is the quickest way to start editing the result. If you click here on Rerun, it'll regenerate the image using the exact same prompt. There's a chance we'll get a different result that's closer to what we're looking for. But honestly, I'd recommend taking a moment to think about what might have gone wrong and how to reword the prompt to get something better. You can do that by clicking Edit. Your original prompt will pop up in the window at the top, and you're free to tweak it however you want. On the right-hand side, you've got all the settings. Maybe you want to change the aspect ratio or remove specific elements from the image that didn't work for you. That's how you let Midjourney know which parts you'd like it to replace. Then we've got the Vary option, where you can choose how much you want to change in the next round of image generation. If you're only looking for small tweaks, go with Subtle. But if you want something more drastically different, pick Strong. And once you're ready, just hit Submit Edit. And let's see if this time Midjourney gets our idea a little better. Unfortunately, this is one of those processes where things don't always go perfectly on the first try, so it's worth being ready for a bit of back and forth. But I'll back out of the editing path for now because there's another scenario. Maybe the result we got is actually pretty good as a starting point. In that case, we can still make a few adjustments using the Very Subtle or Very Strong options. That will give us 4 new versions, each slightly or significantly different from the one we already have. Oh, and if you're not seeing some of the options I've got here on my screen, just click on More Options and make sure everything you need is checked. One quick tip: don't go clicking around too much just to see what happens, because each click triggers a new image generation in the background, and you might not even notice until you close the window and realize it's been working this whole time. One last thing I want to talk about here is the pan and zoom tools. Let's say you actually like the image, but the framing feels too tight, and you want to add a bit more space around the character. If you want to evenly expand the image with new elements on all sides, top, bottom, and sides, go for Zoom. But if you only want Midjourney to generate more content above, below, or on one specific side, use one of the directional arrows in the Pan tool. Let's give it a try and see what happens. As you can see, we've got some extra elements added at the top. Okay, we're happy with the result. What now? Hit Upscale. That gives you a higher resolution version of your selected image. This is super helpful if you plan to publish or animate it. Then just download the image, and you're ready to move to the next stage, turning it into video. Next up, I'll show you some more advanced tricks to turn adults into babies. Let's go. Alright, as I mentioned earlier, if we want to turn an adult into a child, we'll need to use reference images. Here are the ones I've been working with. When we click the little info icon, we can take a look at how Midjourney automatically classified and described the image. As you can see, it recognized the actor, but it also generated a pretty detailed description. And that's actually super useful because it teaches us how to write better prompts. Midjourney is basically showing us, hey, if you want this kind of result, try writing your prompts like this. Super handy. But that's just a side note. What we're really interested in here is generating a child version of someone. Step 1. Finding the right reference image. I picked Chris Evans as Captain America. It's really worth spending some time online looking for a good picture. One that captures the actor's distinctive features, but also has a facial expression that could translate well to a calm, happy toddler. In my photo, he could be smiling a bit more, but let's see what we get with this one. I'm clicking on Choose a File. Let me take one more look at the description. As you can see, Midjourney recognized Chris Evans and his film character. So, I'm writing a simple prompt: toddler sitting barefoot in the kids' playroom, hyper-realistic photo, smiling, natural light, with a face of Chris Evans as a toddler. Yeah, I know, toddler shows up twice, but sometimes repeating something helps emphasize what you really want. Now I'm dragging the Chris Evans photo into the first image prompt box and hitting submit. A little wait for me, shorter for you, because I'm speeding this up in post. And here are the first results. I think I like the last one the most, though the one before it is also pretty good in terms of resemblance. But yeah, there are definitely things to nitpick. Just look at those legs. That's a 1-year-old's body. maybe even younger, and then the head looks more like a 6-year-old. And feet and hands are forever an issue with AI-generated images. Look at the first one, 3 feet. And even in the last one, the feet are a bit off. But unless we're ready to finalize the image, it's not really worth fixing those just yet. Let's try running the same prompt again and see what else we get. So I'm choosing rerun. And I mean, the resemblance is still there, but we're still mostly getting older kids, which honestly isn't a bad thing. The older the child, the more developed the facial features, and the more it'll resemble the adult version we started with. But if we want to aim for a younger look, let's tweak the prompt a bit. Instead of toddler, I'll go with a 1-year-old baby. And I think I'll drop the whole barefoot part too. The results? The face definitely looks younger now. It's still not quite a 1-year-old, maybe closer to 2. At this point, it's totally up to you whether you want to keep refining the prompt or maybe even try a different reference photo, which is definitely something to consider. Here are some generations I got using that other image for comparison. But I've got a favorite. It's this one right here. So now I'm going to select it, upscale the quality, and download it, so that we can take it and use it in another app to animate our character. There are quite a few video generators available online these days. I won't be recommending one specific platform though. Unfortunately, most of them, like Luma or Runway, which just a few months ago offered at least a few free generations, are now completely paywalled. I'm currently using Freepik, and I'll show you that platform in a moment. But before we go there, I actually found a service that still offers free video generations for new users, and that's Klingai. It's a Chinese company that's become internationally recognized for its video generation tech. We go to Klingai.com and click on the Create button, which takes us straight into the app. From the menu, we choose Video Generation. Then, we click the button that lets us add a start frame. That's where we upload the image we created earlier in Midjourney, directly from our drive. If you're not logged in yet, this will be the moment the app asks you to sign in. As usual, I'll go with the Google login. And here we are, back in the app. We can take a quick look at the available options, but unfortunately in the free version, there's not much to choose from. You can add a prompt if you want, it's optional. Personally though, if I'm already uploading a reference image, I usually skip the prompt altogether. It just seems like the generator gets a bit confused sometimes. Like it doesn't quite know whether to follow the image or the description. So I'm just clicking Generate, and hooray, 52 minutes of waiting. Time to take a lunch break. But while we're waiting, let me quickly show you Freepik. Now, with Freepik, you do need a paid subscription. If you're planning to create more videos, there's really no way around it. But it's a pretty solid tool. Freepik actually includes access to several video generation models, like Runway, Google VO2, and Minimax. On top of that, you get access to a bunch of other AI-powered tools, plus their entire stock media library. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm selecting their AI image generator. And just like before, I'll start by uploading our start image. Let's try something slightly different here. I'll add a short prompt. Static shot, kid slightly moving his head, smiling to the camera. And now we hit generate. The nice thing is that with a paid subscription, we don't have to wait nearly as long. In just a few minutes, the video's ready. So, what did we get out of all this? Let's take a look. Starting with Klingai. The little one smiles, then gradually becomes more serious, but overall it looks quite natural. Now let's check Freepik. We've got a bit more movement here, and the smile stays throughout. And the funny thing is, Freepik actually chose the model for this generation automatically, and it picked Kling. So yes, it's the exact same model we just used directly, but here, it's running within Freepik's platform. And now, just a quick side-by-side comparison. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next tutorials.